A high number of people today are fighting drug and substance addictions when it comes to opioids. This morning we have Dr. Tony O'Donnell here to give us some insight onto why so many people are being affected by this. Good morning. Great to have you here.
Good morning. Nice to see you, Amanda.
You just came out with a book, Addiction, Craving, Connection, Attachment Addiction, and the Search for Sobriety.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to write this?
Well, I wrote this for my dissertation. I grew up in my native Ireland. As a young man, I witnessed a significant amount of alcohol abuse. Thankfully, not in my own family, but other people that I noticed in the community. And that's what that kind of drove me to write. This is my 15th book, to write this book to make people much more aware. And we have a huge crisis and emergency in this country. It's declared now a state of emergency in our country because so many people are doing alcohol, they're doing heroin, they're doing cocaine, they're doing painkillers, and it's so incredibly easy. I can walk in and they know I'm a doctor, or they don't know I'm a doctor. I can walk into any pharmacy and get a prescription and walk out with painkillers, and I can turn around and sell those to people on the street. There's a huge demand for that, and that's what's driving it. There's a significant amount of need for people who are in pain, but there's also natural remedies that people can look at, and that's something that doctors need to be much more mindful of.
And what are those natural remedies? Because you're known as the herb doc.
Yeah.
You're an herbal specialist in nutrition as well.
This is why I write the books and do the television shows, and I'm thankful and grateful to be here in Austin. We write about 300 million prescriptions a year in the United States. That is just so wrong. There's natural alternatives like ginger, curcumin, MSM, methylsulfonylmethane, it's sulfur, it's organic sulfur. There's periwinkle, there's huperzine, there's essential fatty acids, there's ginkgo, there's exercise. You know, when you exercise and you move your body, it's really remarkable because it releases those endorphins that help you feel good. I had a fall myself in Sedona, Arizona at 5,200 feet. And boy, oh boy, I was in such excruciating pain. I would have done anything. And I can understand how people get addicted to small amounts of painkillers. And then, of course, it becomes a daily routine or weekly routine. And then, of course, you're dependent on those painkillers on a consistent basis. So I decided to exercise, stretching, Pilates, yoga. There's natural things, breathing, prayer, saunas, all these things are really, really great.
What are your thoughts on the fact that the federal government has now declared this an epidemic?
I'm not surprised. It should have happened 10 years ago. This has been going on for a long, long time, ever since the Vietnam War in this country, the history that I've studied in this country. We're the most overfed, undernourished, overmedicated nation in the world. We write more prescriptions in America and North America than the entire world combined. We have kids now that are selling pills, Vicodin, methadone, oxycodone, OxyContin, Percocets. They call them Vikes on the street. I mean, really, it is a huge underground movement that's going on in our country. And if you have children, Amanda, you need to be really aware of what your children are consuming.
You need to lock that medicine cabinet.
Yeah, and you know, the interesting thing, absolutely, you got to lock that medicine cabinet. The interesting thing is that 50% of drug misuse, particularly painkillers in this country, are by family members who give leftover pain medication to their children or loved ones. That is really wrong. Never, ever, ever mix alcohol and painkillers together in the same breath, because it is really dangerous. It's worse almost than heroin or cocaine.
But I got to say, my final question here is: let's say that somebody is drinking, and at that point they are craving another high. They take the pill. How do you deal with that?
And then they take another pill.
And then they take another pill.
Well, 2 out of 3 people have low levels of self-esteem, 85% of the population. We as human beings, we don't like ourselves. That's why plastic surgery is all the rage in Hollywood and around our country. We need to develop much more awareness of who we are as human beings. Shakespeare says, "Who you are, speak so loudly, I care not thou what thou sayest." We need to develop our spirituality. We need to develop the love for the family. There's a lot of dysregulation, imbalance in the family. And if there's imbalance in the family, and if there is a history of drug and substance abuse in the family, it's much more likely that the child or children will become drug users as well, particularly pain medication, which is a huge issue.
We all have to be more aware. Doctor,
really,
thank you so much.
And doctors need to take more responsibility.
Yeah, we all do.
In writing prescriptions.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Amanda. Have a blessed day.